Stevie, there were many games during the season that City were absolutely cruising, and then it got a wee bit nervy towards the end when they let in a goal or two. But after that second goal went in, well, certainly for me, you just kind of felt that they've got United at arm's length. And as Rob mentioned, there's obviously going to be the send everybody forward at the end, and Varane, I think, hit the bar when McTominay was involved. But did you also get the feeling that when City went ahead, then they were not in cruise control, but they were very comfortable with that lead?
To be honest, I wasn't particularly thinking about City because when you're 2-1 up in the cup final and the clock's getting towards the end of the game, then I don't care how good a team you are, there is a tendency to try and hold on to what you've got and just don't make a mistake. And as I said, I was thinking more about United. I was trying to figure out how are United going to break them down, because I don't remember one bit of play where it involved 2 or 3 players, some passing and moving, and getting in behind or cutting people up. You know, there was no zip or imagination or anything like that coming from United from the first whistle to the last. They put the pressure on, no question, the last 10 minutes, but it's desperation time. You're throwing balls in. And the fact that Varane again was the one that was hit, the one that hit the bar, tells you how inept they pretty much were going forward. So no surprise that City got a little deep, but no surprise that Manchester United couldn't really muscle any real football. It was all about winning challenges and winning second balls. And just before Varane hits the bar, I'm pretty sure Ortega makes a really good save from, I think it might have been Shaw, when the ball broke and he comes out, and that's how it ended up at the head of Varane, I think, off the goalkeeper. So again, it was a half chance that came about, not from good football, but just desperation with time running out in a cup final. And so United, they can't really look back in this game and think that they had it and they lost it, because they really never went and grasped it. It really was City's, and City deserved it.
Well, Manchester United had the opportunity to stop City from emulating what United did in 1999 and get the treble, but they now are one step away. Final question to you, Rob. If Manchester City go ahead and beat Inter next Saturday, they get the domestic treble, like Ferguson and Manchester United did in 1999. Is it too early to try and have the conversation and the potential argument about, is Pep better than Fergie? Is Fergie better than Pep? Because if we don't have it, someone else is going to have it. Where would a win next week in the Champions League final and a treble for Manchester City put Pep in the pantheon of legendary managers?
What a question. Does he rival Ferguson? Probably. I mean, Ferguson's genius was in his longevity, that he ended up winning 13 Premier League titles. To do it so well for so long, I think deserves to be in a class of your own. But Pep Guardiola certainly deserves to be in that conversation, that the dominance that Ferguson had with United when he was in charge is being emulated by City and Pep Guardiola now. They've won 5 out of the last 6 Premier League titles. Have been in 2 of the last 3 Champions League finals. They've won the FA Cup today. They've been in the last 4 FA Cup semi-finals. City are the dominant force in English football, and I think victory over Inter next week will confirm their places as the best team in the world at the moment. I think Pep would probably have to go on and win a few more Premier League titles, a few more trophies to really start matching for Alex Ferguson's record. But if you talk about genius coaches and the tactics that he's introduced, the way that his teams play, the way that he figures out how to beat teams, he certainly deserves to be in that conversation, and that won't change whether they win or lose against Inter next week. I think Pep Guardiola's already done enough to be a part of that conversation, beating Inter next week and winning another Champions League title, winning City's first Champions League trophy. We'll just confirm his place among those great coaches.
Rob Dawson at Wembley, thank you so much. ESPNFC.com for all of Rob's scribings.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.